Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap and welcome to today's session. So SEBI has launched the pilot version of a new scheme. The SEBI has unveiled a new logo on its foundation day. The IRDAI, that is the Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India, has released the list for the domestic systemically important issuers, as well as the City Union Bank that has become the country's first bank to launch the system of voice biometric. So all of this we are going to discuss in today's session, and these are the most important finance updates that were going on quite in news. Okay, that were quite in news, and direct questions can come from these news articles, and that's why they are very important for you all to understand and know about. So let's discuss them, but before that, do subscribe to our YouTube channel and join our Telegram channel for the PDF of this session. So you will get the PDF of this session in our Telegram channel. Okay, so now coming to our first important news article, that is regarding the Small Industries Development Bank of India that has announced the launch of a pilot version of the new scheme. So this new scheme is Mission 50K EV for Eco. So this you have to remember, the name is quite complicated it seems. That what is this? Okay, so it is 50,000. EV means electric vehicle. So this mission is specially for the electric vehicles for the ecosystem. That is the ecosystem of the electric vehicles, to boost the ecosystem of the electric vehicles in the country. Okay, so let's understand that this mission has been launched. The pilot version of this scheme has been launched by the SEBI. Now SEBI first of all works for the MSMEs in the country. The SEBI works for the micro, small and medium enterprises in the country. Okay, so now this scheme is particularly for better financing terms in electric vehicle space, to boost the electric vehicle space, to provide more loans and better loans for the boosting of the electric vehicle space and strengthening the whole ecosystem of the electric vehicle space. So you have to remember, the aim of this mission of this scheme is to boost or to better provide the financing terms, the loans in the electric vehicle space and strengthening the whole ecosystem. This we will understand in the coming slides further, but remember the name of the mission, the scheme. Okay, now why the SEBI has to bring this kind of scheme or to think about the electric vehicle space? Okay, why the SEBI had to do so? So what happened, that SEBI did a detailed discussion with the MSMEs that were involved in the electric vehicle space. Okay, so there are many MSMEs that are working in the electric vehicle space, as well as there are the NBFCs. There are the NBFCs that are providing the loans for the electric vehicle space. Now the banks are much afraid to provide the loans to the MSMEs for the electric vehicle, and so the banks are not providing the loans to the MSMEs for the electric vehicle because they are afraid that okay, it is not much profitable business or the business can go down, and so the banks are not providing the loans. But the NBFCs, the small unrated NBFCs, are the ones that are providing the loans in the electric vehicle space. That we will see. Okay, so the discussion happened by the SEBI with the MSMEs and the NBFCs that are involved in the electric vehicle space, and the MSMEs told that we are not able to get adequate finance, we are not able to get adequate loans, as well as even if we are getting the loans are at a high interest rate. Okay, so a detailed discussion with the stakeholders, that is the MSMEs and the NBFCs revealed that the access to adequate finance, including a competitive rate of interest, is a challenge faced by MSMEs in buying the electric vehicle. So in the electric vehicle space, this is a big challenge that we are not able to get. The MSMEs are not able to get the loans, or even if they are getting the loans, they are not getting the loans at a competitive rate of interest, at a good less rate of interest. And also the NBFCs that are catering to the EV ecosystem, electric vehicle ecosystem, there is also a trouble with the NBFCs. The electric vehicle financing is being done by the small and unrated NBFCs. These NBFCs have good knowledge of the EV sector, but these NBFCs do not have much resources, much money to provide for the loans. So at present, it is not possible for these NBFCs to cater to all the NBFCs requiring finance for an electric vehicle, okay, for their day-to-day operations or for the commercial use. So dedicated NBFCs struggle with the high cost of funds. They are able to mobilize the resources but at a high cost, and that's why they are providing the loans to the MSMEs at high rate of interest. So I hope you have understood this idea. only the supply, on the supply side, what is happening that the banks perceived these projects related to the electric vehicles as high risk, and that's why they are not getting involved with the electric vehicle space, and that's why the SEBI had to come in front, and the SEBI had to say that okay, we are launching this scheme. So the scheme is regarding what, that we will see. So MSMEs that were finding it difficult to access the loans to purchase electric vehicles for their day-to-day operations or for the commercial use. Okay, so the MSMEs can use the electric vehicles in their day-to-day operation, like they have to send the service to a particular company. So they are sending that through the electric vehicles. Okay, the material is being transported through the electric vehicles. So day-to-day operations are happening through the electric vehicles, or they are using it for the commercial use. That is, they are leasing the electric vehicles further. So such kind of activities the MSMEs can do. So will now be able to access credit. They will get the credit directly from the SEBI under the pilot scheme, the principal financial institution for the MSMEs in India. So the SEBI is the main financial institution for the micro, small and medium enterprises in India. And the SEBI has said that okay, if the banks are not providing you the loan, I will provide you the loan. And that's why this pilot scheme has been launched. So the pilot phase of Mission 50K EV4 Eco aims at strengthening the EV ecosystem in the country, including the uptake for electric 2, 3 and 4 wheelers. So the 2-wheelers, 3-wheelers, 4-wheelers, for all these the loan will be provided, the credit will be provided to the MSMEs directly through the direct and indirect lending. So direct lending will happen to the MSMEs, but there is also the aspect of the indirect lending that we will understand. Okay, so the SEBI has said in a statement that we will be providing the loan directly to the MSMEs, and we will also provide the indirect loans or indirect lending we will do. Okay, this is for strengthening the EV ecosystem in the country. The pilot scheme, which is the precursor to Evolve scheme. Now here is the name of the Evolve scheme that we are not going to discuss much in the current session, but this full form you must know. So electric vehicles operations and lending for a vibrant ecosystem for electric 2 and 3 wheelers. So this is the Evolve scheme that has to be launched in the future. So this is going to be the scheme of SEBI plus World Bank. So the SEBI and World Bank combined efforts they are going to put for this Evolve scheme that has this full form electric vehicles operations and lending for a vibrant ecosystem. Okay, so this is the Evolve scheme. Now this pilot scheme, this scheme is the precursor or predecessor we can say of the Evolve scheme. That first this scheme is launched, and after seeing the that what is happening with this scheme, how good it is working, then this Evolve scheme will be launched by SEBI World Bank. Now this pilot scheme has two components, direct lending and the indirect lending. So we are going to discuss these two parts of the Mission 50K EV for Eco. Okay, so the Evolve scheme is of SEBI plus World Bank, but the Mission 50K is of the SEBI only. Okay, so now under direct lending, the SEBI will directly give the loans to the eligible MSMEs that are working in the electric vehicle space, that are the aggregators of electric vehicles, that are the fleet operators of the electric vehicles, or that are the EV leasing companies. They are giving the EVs on lease, on rent. For the purchase of electric vehicles, the loan will be provided, and also to develop the charging infrastructure, including the battery swapping. For all these, the SEBI will be providing the direct loans to the MSMEs. Under the scheme, the SEBI will indirectly lend to the NBFCs so that the NBFCs can further lend to the MSMEs that need the loans. Okay, so will indirectly lend to NBFCs. Now indirectly, why? Because SEBI here has to directly lend to MSMEs. So this is direct lending. SEBI is lending in the second stage, or the second component is SEBI is lending to NBFCs that will lend to MSMEs. So this is indirect lending. This is indirect lending. So indirectly lend to NBFCs, including the small, unrated, focused, emerging NBFCs actively engaged in the EV financing. Also to reach out to the last mile of the MSMEs, also to reach out to the last mile of the people that are engaged in the EV, and also reduce the cost of the borrowing for the electric vehicles. This pilot shall be followed by scaling up support to the ecosystem from multilateral support. So later on, Evolve will be launched, that is getting the support from the World Bank, and similarly other things, the scheme will also expand. The Mission 50K scheme will also expand when it will get the support from multilateral institutions, okay, or will get the multilateral support. So now this was the first news. Now the second news is about this new logo of SEBI that has been unveiled. So this is the new logo. This was the old logo, and the new logo has been unveiled, has been released by the SEBI on its 35th foundation day. So tell me, can you tell me that when SEBI was established? Okay, when SEBI was established. So SEBI was established on 12th April 1988. This is a very important date that you have to remember now, because there is a very big change that has been done by the SEBI. SEBI celebrated its 35th foundation day on 12th April 2023. Okay, SEBI has grown and evolved into an institution which facilitates the growth of the markets, of the securities markets especially, and the Indian economy as a whole. So the capital markets regulator, that is the SEBI, has unveiled its new logo. The press release was released by the SEBI with this information. The new SEBI logo retains its traditional blue color. So it still has the blue color palette while also reflecting the aspiration of a new and modern nation. So this new logo shows the aspiration, the point of view of the SEBI towards the new and modern nation that works for the prosperity of every Indian. So what the SEBI chairperson Madhavi Puri Bush has said about the new logo: SEBI's new logo seeks to reflect the unique combination of the traditions of SEBI, that the SEBI has been following a tradition, okay, of engaging the market, of its consultative approach in policy making. So that is the tradition of SEBI, to have the consultative approach in the policy making. But now this is the rich tradition that is shown through the blue color of the SEBI logo. The new logo shows the new data and technology based approach that the SEBI is going to have in all the three areas of the securities market. Let it be the development of the securities market, let it be the regulation of the securities market, or let it be the investor protection. In all the three areas of the securities market, the SEBI is going to utilize the new data and technology based approach. Okay. So now coming to the third news article, the IDAI designates LIC, GICRE and the New India as DSIIs. So what is this? So first of all, IDAI announced that Life Insurance Corporation of India, the General Insurance Corporation of India and the New India Assurance Co. Limited, these are the domestic systemically important issuers. Now you all must have heard about the domestic systemically important banks, that is the State Bank of India, the ICICI Bank and the SDFC Bank. Similarly, the IRDAI, that is the Insurance Regulator and Regulatory and Development Authority of India, also releases the domestic systemically important issuers. So this is the list of the 2022-23 that has been released by the IDAI recently only, and these are the three insurance companies that are the domestic systemically important insurers. You have to remember these names very clearly, okay? So this the domestic systemically important refer to the issuers that are quite big in size, that have a good market importance, that are interconnected domestically as well as globally, okay? So if any of these fall, if any of these three fall, there will be a big impact on the whole of the financial system of our country. And that's why they are the domestic systemically important insurers that we have to protect. These insurers, the IDAI has to protect these insurers. The DSIs are perceived as insurance that are too big or too important to fail. We do not have to let them fail. And if they are in the distress situation, if they are under the failure, this would cause a significant dislocation in the domestic financial market. This can create a lot of problem. So the three names, remember those three names that has been told by IDAI, that they are the domestic systemically important insurers. Therefore, the continued functioning of DSIs is critical for the uninterrupted availability of insurance services to the national economy, and that's why they are very important. DSIs are being subjected to enhanced regulatory supervision, because if they fail, it is going to create a big problem. DSIs are subjected to additional regulatory measures to deal with systemic risk and moral hazard issues also. Given the nature of their operations and the systemic importance of the DSIs, the insurance companies or the insurers have to carry forward their efforts of the following: to raise the level of corporate governance, to have good corporate governance so that they do not fail, as well as identify all the relevant risks that can come in front of them and promote a sound risk management framework and culture. So they have to do all of these things, and this has been directly taken from the RBI website. So you can understand that you need to have the clarity about the domestic systemically important insurers also, with having the clarity about the domestic systemically important banks. Okay, so we have already discussed the DSIPs in a previous session. I will provide you the link of that session in the description box below. But remember the DSIPs, and remember that the DSIPs are determined on the basis of the size, the market importance, the interconnectedness with the domestic market and with the global market, or with the domestic players and the global players. So the size, the market importance, and the interconnectedness, these are the three important aspects on which the DSIPs are selected, and they are the insurers that are too big to fail, and the distress or failure would cause a significant dislocation in the domestic financial market. Now coming to CUB, customers can use their voice to log in. So what has happened that the City Union Bank has become the first bank in the country to introduce the voice biometric authentication for logging into its mobile banking application. So now the City Union Bank is the first bank in the country. It is the country's first time that you can use your voice as the password, or you can use your voice for the biometric login. So here you can see that now your voice is your password, all in one mobile app of the City Union Bank. If you want to log in this mobile application, you can directly use your voice. Okay, so the voice biometric service will initially be restricted to login or the password only, and later on the City Union Bank is thinking of using this voice biometric for the further processes also. But for now, it is not for authentication of transactions. It is only for the login in that you can do in the mobile application. The voice biometric service was developed by Chennai-based Kaizen Secure Voice Private Limited. That is a startup, that is a deep technology startup that works on the technology. Under the guidance of the 5G use case lab of the Institute for Development and Research in Banking Technology, and RBI established institution focused on research in banking technologies. So what you have to remember that Reserve Bank of India is involved in this technology, in this development through its IDRBT. Okay, so remember this, that the City Union Bank has got this voice biometric system for the first time. This is the country's first time that such a biometric system is being utilized. Voice biometric system is being utilized for the login in, as well as this has been developed by Kaizen Secure Voice in cooperation with, under the guidance of 5G use case lab. Customers have to register their voice once, which will be validated on various parameters. The City Union Bank said that the service will prevent fraud based on the PIN or OTP, and the technology is foolproof against recorded or mimicked voices. So this is the fourth news that you needed to understand. Remember the name of the bank. So I will show you the question, that how the question can come in the examination. So this is the first question where you have to tell the scheme that has been launched, the pilot version of the scheme that has been launched by the SEBI. Now here you have to tell that when was SEBI established, because here 35th foundation day is mentioned. So foundation day. So I hope you remember this, that when is the foundation day, and then you can easily answer this question. This is the third question, that which of the following is the domestic systemically important insurers designated by the RBI. And here is the other kind of question that can come from the RBI news only, that which of the following is not the domestic systemically important insurance. Okay, the last question is regarding the voice biometric authentication for logging into its mobile banking application. So which of the banks were able to do so? So that you have to tell. Okay, so I hope you have understood all the news articles, and there is a big announcement from EduTap that we have brought for you the comprehensive guide for RBI, NABARD and SEBI. So through a single guidebook, you can get all your common queries answered. If you want to know about the examination, that what is the pattern for the exam, what are the previous year cutoff for the exam, what is the syllabus for the exam, all these common queries can be answered through this single guidebook. You do not have to visit different links. You do not have to visit different websites. Okay, even if you want to know about the preparation, that what should be the sources of the preparation, what is the strategy for the preparation, even if you want to know about the organization, all these information you can get through a single guidebook. Okay, as well as this is absolutely free of cost. You do not have to pay any money. This is to save your time, to save your efforts, and you can easily download this guidebook. The link is given in the description box below. So do download this guidebook. Thank you very much. If you have any query, you can mail us here or you can contact us through this number. Thank you very much, everyone.